And welcome to the Allen Americans podcast. Tommy Daniels here, joined by the commissioner of the ECHL, Mr. Ryan Crelin. Ryan, we'll start here. First of all, health-wise, everybody, hopefully you and your family doing well.
Yeah, no, appreciate that, Tommy. We're okay. We're here in New Jersey, which certainly has a high rate of the COVID-19 virus, but the numbers are looking better here as time goes on. And personally, we're doing A-okay. A little stir crazy, hoping the weather turns here in the Northeast, but we've got our health.
Well, that is great. And I was going to ask you, as far as daily life, I mean, I know a lot of people, I'm not going out of the house. I'm only going to the store. How much of your life is, normal for you, what you're doing now?
Well, it's certainly become a new normal. It's amazing how time has passed by here. Hockey season feels like 100 years ago at this point. Personally here in New Jersey, the stay-at-home orders are still in effect, so the office is closed down, and we're able to work from home, and it's gone pretty seamlessly, quite honestly. I mean, when you think about it, we're a league of 26 teams, 19 states, 2 Canadian provinces, and we're able to operate all of that out of a New Jersey location. So you do that through technology and communication. And so being able to just pick that up from the office and move it to home has gone pretty easily. And there's lots to do, in prepping for 2021, evaluating the circumstances around the countries to see what next season will look like. So lots to do, and using technology to our advantage.
I'll go back to that Thursday when we were traveling from Dallas to Utah, and we were in Vegas, and that's actually when I got a call from Joe Ernst, who said at that point, we'll see what happens, but things aren't looking great at this point. And sure enough, by the time we got to Utah, we found out that we're going to be turning around and going right back to Allen. At the time, a lot of people questioned, wow, why are we pulling the plug so early? But, man, you guys had the right call from the very beginning, as it only got worse. How many people were involved in that decision in deciding to call the season?
Yeah, I mean, a lot, starting with my office and our executive committee and general counsel, getting the PHPA and their constituents involved, and then speaking to all 26 teams over a very truncated time period. So lots of conversations. I think I was on the phone till 11 o'clock one night, just trying to get feedback and what was going on in the different jurisdictions. Again, one part of the country or country's reaction was different from another. But getting all of that feedback, talking to other leagues, looking at the news, health officials, local governments, and just trying to funnel that all into a central location. It was a lot. Don't get me wrong, and a stressful time period. But looking back, at the time, it feels like it may not be the right decision, even though it's the right one. But looking back, it was absolutely the right one.
I know just of recent times, Ryan, the Gary Bettman came out and I read the article. I'm sure you did as well, or probably talked to him about at no point is he considering canceling the season. They obviously want to get it in. They want to, crown someone a Stanley Cup champion. It could affect the start of next season for us. How often do you talk to Gary Bettman, and can you share anything with us on what might be the plan ahead for them?
Yeah, I don't talk to Gary directly. I talk to some other high-ranking officials, and we've got a standing call every 2 weeks. Just to get updates and let them know what's going on in our league, get feedback from them. And, it's not just the hockey world here either. It's all of sports. We're all in this together. And, I think you're going to see the entire industry move in lockstep.
ECHL Commissioner Ryan Crelin joining us here on the Allen Americans podcast. Well, the AHL came out recently and announced that their season officially done. I don't think anybody was shocked about that, but I think what was the second line that came along with that is, if they can't play in front of fans next year, that their season is in jeopardy. And of course, that sends panic in our world as well. A lot of fans messaging, emailing, saying, what does that mean for the ECHL if the AHL says there won't be a season next year? Is that realistic?
Yeah, I mean, look, our models are very similar, and we are a fan-centric business, both in the arena and in the community. If we aren't interacting with our marketplace and doing the high fives and the school visits and the hospital visits outside the building, that's part of our business model. So I do think it adds an extra layer of challenge, and we need fans in order to make it work. But we're looking at all the different models. And, the best news we have right now is October is 5 months away. And a lot can change between now and then. But delaying the season is certainly a possibility, changing some things around. All options are on the table, and I look at it as an opportunity. Our main goal is going to be to get back to our model, make sure we've got player safety, fan safety, employee safety at the top of the list, and return to hockey. And we'll find a way to do it. What exactly that looks like, we're modeling out now. But we've got to get more feedback from the governments and the health officials before we can truly make a decision.
Ryan, most of the teams have released their home schedule, the Allen Americans included. If there comes a point where the NHL comes back, I haven't heard any kind of a deadline on what is the end all be all, but let's just say they start up their season in July at some point or August, and that pushes back, our season for next year. What is the plan in place as far as the schedule? Would it be completely redone? Would it cut off where, we start wherever it would be on the schedule we currently have, or how's that going to work?
Yeah, so I mean, part of our plan has been to work on the 2021 season as regularly scheduled, build that, lock those dates in with our buildings, let our fans know what we're working on. Certainly what the NHL does will have an impact on us, and we'll need to take that into consideration as we make our decision. If we need to delay a month or two, having a base schedule is a really strong starting position to pick up games at a later date and maybe move some of those early games somewhere else. I'm not saying we're going to do that. I'm not saying we want to do that, but that's some of the methodology that would be in place. So, we're independent. We can make our decisions, but the NHL's decision will certainly have an effect on us. But that's just one piece of the pie. Again, knowing what the venues, what the health officials, what the governance is saying is also a big part of that equation.
I know the PGA Tour will be starting, as a matter of fact, here in Dallas-Fort Worth, coming up in June at Colonial, and they've announced that they're going to be doing testing on the players and media and everybody involved. Do you think that will be something in place for us next year, for teams, for players coming into camp? Will they get tested before they're able to play a game?
Yeah, I think that's going to be part of the new reality, especially, when you think about the word team, you think about proximity and bonding, sharing a locker room, sharing facilities. And we've seen it even before COVID-19 where, something gets into the locker room and you've got a number of players affected. So keeping that bubble safe will be a key component. Again, what that looks like and how that's administered, that's all to be determined.
I know the NHL, they haven't announced names, but we've heard about players in Colorado and also in Ottawa that were affected by coronavirus. Can you confirm, were there any cases that you know of in the ECHL?
So there was none within the ECHL at the time we canceled the season and got everyone back and home. It's my understanding, and at least to my knowledge, one player did have a mild case of it weeks after we had canceled the season. So as we got into mid-April there. So I believe he may have picked it up somewhere else, although I guess you never know. But that is the only confirmed case that I know of. And, luckily it was a mild case.
So the big thing now is if you're on any social media channels, there's all different masks out there that you can wear. Every team has got their mask. I'm from Buffalo, as you know. So the Bills and the Sabres have their mask out there. Is the ECHL going to market a mask that you can wear with the ECHL logo on it?
Yeah, they're already in production, and just kind of dotting the I's. You'll see something come out here in very short order, where players, fans can order their masks. It's a really cool story once you see it come out, and part of the proceeds are going to go to the Player Relief Fund as well.
And that's great. And we've been doing something here in Allen to benefit the ECHL Player Relief Fund. We've been doing these Zoom auctions, and most recently Spencer Asachuk and his really got heated the last couple hours with people bidding to have a 20-minute Zoom call with all the proceeds going to the ECHL Player Relief Fund. How is that going overall as a whole?
Yeah, very well. It took us a little time to get it set up and get it out, but it's building traction. We've got a couple more things coming down the pike here with the Spit and Chicklets folks who have been great in promoting that. We've got one of our teams, the Worcester Railers, that are doing a custom goaltender mask with Spit and Chicklets and the ECHL logo, which will be auctioned off with all the funds going to the Player Relief Fund. A number of teams have held jersey auctions, which are, just completing in the past couple of weeks here. So in conjunction with the PHBA, we've been able to get a first wave of funding out to players who have been very appreciative. And we're going to keep it going here through May, again, as some of those auctions roll up and get more funding into the pool there.
Are you watching any of these specials on TV that have kept everybody, I guess, entertained for the last couple months? Tiger King or the big one now is the Michael Jordan, The Last Dance, which has everybody on the edge of their seat. But great stuff.
Yeah, so I haven't yet. I've read all about them. I'm actually itching to watch them. I just haven't really found the time just yet. I'm hoping here through the next couple of weeks that will materialize. Again, with everything changing so rapidly, there's been a lot to focus on, and a couple other things here at home. But usually my Netflix time was reserved for the plane rides, so I've got to get just back into the habit here at home.
Well, as always, we appreciate you're always very, very generous with your time, and it was good catching up with you. Continued success on the plan here for the summer, and stay safe.
Yeah, you as well, Tommy. We will get there. There will be a 2021 season, but just some things to work through here. So let's, it's funny. We'd be going, right into conference finals this time of year, but let's take the summer to regroup, reorganize. Hopefully this thing passes through, and let's get ready for next season.
Sounds like a great idea. Thanks again, Ryan.
All right. Take care, Tommy.